Hey guys, Ryan here, and this is the new Samsung Galaxy Watch 5, and it has a very intriguing feature that I'll share with you in this video. Plus, I have some other thoughts about it that you guys want to hear. The model that I got is the 44mm graphite, so it's a large size. And as far as the unboxing experience goes, since this watch can be charged wirelessly, inside of the box you're going to find a wireless charger with USB-C without a charging brick, of course, which is still fantastic to see. I really don't want to deal with any cables and plugging and unplugging them. And even if you're running out of battery and you're someplace else than home and you have a Galaxy phone with reverse wireless charging, you can just use your phone to charge it. And that's why I like wireless charging, because it's more versatile and more modern. Listen, I've never had a Galaxy Watch before. I've never even seen one in person before getting this Galaxy Watch 5. So my impressions of it were always just based on what I heard from others. And I was starting to feel like I'm missing out. So me getting this Galaxy Watch for the first time meant that I just needed to forget everything I thought I knew about it, put my bias aside, and just start from scratch. So I was so excited to see the UI for the first time, and right off the bat I was a little turned off by how slow the startup and first setup process was. But again, I had to remind myself, you gotta be patient. It's too early to judge. And my patience was really paid off when I saw the really smooth UI of the Wear OS with those vibrant colors that really pop. So design-wise, the circular design is my thing. Whether I'm wearing a traditional mechanical watch or a smartwatch, it has to be round. So at least I'm lucky. This is just what I want. What I'm not so happy to see is the large bezel, and I'm fairly confident that none of you guys are happy about it either. Maybe some people don't mind, but just take a look at Apple Watch 7. Now, I'm not an Apple Watch user, but I really adore that almost bezel-less design. And I really don't think it's too much to ask for a minimal bezel because we as consumers know that today is possible. So hashtag no bezel. And in terms of the size and how it looks on the wrist, I think if you have an average size wrist, you're gonna be fine. What's not so pleasing to the eye is the watch band or the straps, because they're just sticking out a tad, which make the watch have an unnatural look on the wrist. And I presume this is the problem with the silicone straps, which by the way are unnecessarily thick. And so maybe using something like leather straps would be a better idea, because at least you know that you're gonna break them in after some time, which won't happen to these very thick silicone straps. So if I had a smaller wrist, I would probably try out the leather straps on the 44mm instead of going for the smaller version, which obviously has less battery capacity. And I'm all about battery life, which I'll get to in a sec. But if you truly want to buy the size that matches your small wrist, then the 40mm is the one that you should go for. And as far as battery life is concerned, I've only had it for a couple of days, and being a Garmin smartwatch user, I feel like I'm already developing some kind of charge anxiety, so hopefully I'll get over it after a few more days. But basically subscribe and stay tuned for a more detailed review of this watch, including battery life test. And make sure you comment any questions you may have for me that you want me to answer in that review video. But anyways, with the 44mm, you're gonna get a 410 milliamp hour battery, which should technically last you at least a day and a half. And with the wireless charger, you can charge it up to around 45% in just 30 minutes, but that requires a 25-watt charging brick. So if you don't happen to have one, it's just gonna take longer to fully charge it. So there are a few very interesting things about this watch, and one very intriguing one that can potentially make this a great health watch. Things like blood pressure monitoring, ECG, body weight composition, SpO2 monitoring, sleep tracking, and the new skin temperature sensor. Unfortunately though, the skin temperature sensor is not available yet, and we need to wait for a firmware update in the near future. I personally don't care that much about the ECG or blood pressure monitor, because I have other real accessories that I fully trust that take those measurements, and these are the kind of features that need your action, whereas something like the skin temperature feature doesn't need you to do anything and can potentially reveal the start of an illness or something. But what I do care about the most is the sleep tracking feature, and based on the couple nights that I've been wearing the watch, it seems like it's on point, but still maybe too early to judge. So perhaps I would have to cover this in another video, but at least the sleep duration seems to have been quite correct. And with so many apps to install and the ones already coming with the watch, it can definitely be a fun watch. So this ranges from something like Google Maps to an actual game on your watch. Yeah, I love this game and I used to play it a lot a few years ago, and I'm really surprised to see how nice and smooth the gameplay is on the watch. I mean, you can even record your voice directly on the watch. How amazing is that? What you're hearing right now is my voice recorded using the microphone on the watch. And to be honest, based on my test before and the fact that I'm having hand gestures and I'm not holding it in front of my mouth, I think it sounds pretty darn good. Let me know what you think, curious to know. And the beauty of it is that nothing shows on your phone, meaning it doesn't show that you're recording something. Only once you're done, it saves the audio on your phone's internal storage. In terms of having different apps on the watch, I have a feeling I'm not gonna be disappointed, but again, stay tuned for an in-depth review video of this watch. One of the features that Galaxy Watch 5 Pro has, but not this one, is GPS tracking with the traceback feature that helps you find your way back home or where you started tracking. If you're looking for a practical GPS smartwatch that actually has a traceback feature and is a little cheaper than Galaxy Watch 5 Pro and more durable, you can watch this video. I'll also put the link of the exact same model and color for you in the description. Now at Ryan's Tech, providing honest reviews is part of my mission. And I gotta tell you that I'm not happy about a few things. I already told you about the bezel, but my question is, should this even be called Galaxy Watch 5? I mean, usually in the world of consumer electronics, when the next gen product comes out, first thing you look at is how much the processing power has improved. And unfortunately, the CPU, the amount of RAM and internal storage of the Galaxy Watch 5 remain exactly the same as Galaxy Watch 4. So the CPU is Exynos W920, 1.5 gigabytes of RAM, 16 gigabytes of memory. Literally the only significant change here is the new temperature sensor and a bigger battery. Of course, there is also now Bluetooth 5.2 instead of 5 and a more rugged body with sapphire crystal. But when I see the processing unit and RAM haven't changed, they might have as well just released it under the name Galaxy Watch 4 Plus or something. Anyways, one of the features of this watch that I'll probably use a lot is controlling my Galaxy Watch 2 Pro directly on the watch, which is very cool. So why don't you go ahead and watch the full review video of these new earbuds from Samsung over here. It's a good video, and when the in-depth review video of this watch is out, you can click here to watch it.